Howdy on Relax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days Die. Alright. Well, I have put a little bit of time in here since last episode. Basically, this town is killing me, man. There's so many bad guys. I think I'm just gonna have to move on. I want to stay here and explore, but I'm not strong enough yet. Uh, I it's a pretty big town, but it is wrecking my face. So I'm gonna move on. Basically, last episode I was riding my moped, my mini bike, looking for a new town. I died here to vultures. My bedroll was here. I died a few times getting down here. I finally planted bedrolled here. Went the wrong way, looking for my mini bike. Got my bike, got down here, died, had to run back across through here. Finally came over here to this place, explored this place a little bit, got in this place, and they're just constantly wrecking my face. So I am gonna look for a smaller town than this city that wants me dead. The problem is that if I go into a building, any of the buildings, there's just like dozens of bad guys that come out. And so like I try to hit this Crack-a-Books building, and I I bet there was 12 or 15 bad guys on one floor that just came out of everywhere. And I died like 8 times trying to clear that floor. Because all I have are my punchers at the moment. I don't have a gun yet. And so it makes it hard. And on top of that, I still don't have a headlamp. And I can't make one yet, so I've got to find one somewhere. And I haven't found one. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize your eyes were glowing yellow. So, yep. See what I mean? So, yeah, it's I keep trying to record an episode, and then I just get long-winded, and then I'm like, I can't. I've got to start over. And so this is like attempt number 7, probably. So we'll try and keep this one a little shorter than my large rants. Let's start with the thing I've been ranting about and try to make it shorter. Let's try that. Basically, my YouTube feed kicked up a video. Hey, nope, I don't want you. You have to stay where you are. I'm done with you. So my YouTube feed kicked up a video that was about the Wheel of Time series, which I hated. I didn't hate it, but it's one. It ranks up there with one of the worst adaptations of a show I've ever seen. Now, I don't expect an adaptation to be perfect. Okay, I'm not looking for a shot for shot, scene for scene, word for word adaptation. I'm not saying that. I've seen lots of adaptations that were not like the source material, but followed the same ideas that were in the source material, but streamline it in a way that made it able to, fit on a TV show. And so, and then I've seen some awful ones, and this is one of the worst. Basically, one of the comments I saw said, just finished this series. I guess at least they got the names right. And that's about it. It is so divorced from the source material that even going to a place with the same name had no coherence with what happened in the book. I I don't want to be in Frozen Land. Now I've got to go back. I'm not going to be in Frozen Land, all right? I want a small green city, okay? No vultures, no frozen, no buildings so full of bad guys I can't survive. I need a headlamp and maybe a schematic for a gun of some kind that I like. Uh, but yeah, so the video was from one of the larger fandoms of the book series, like a place that I've been to many times. Oh, look, this might be all right. I don't have a bedroll on me. And so I was curious because it said that the video was a deep dive into the episodes of the series, and it just come out. So I'm like, oh, all right. So this should be an in-depth, well-researched look back at the series and comparing it to the books, and it's from the one of the biggest fandoms. They got their own wiki page and forums and stuff, right? And I used to go there when the books were coming out to look at theories on where people thought the things were going to happen, and I've been in and out of that website, that fandom, for years, and so I'm like, all right, this will be good because I hate the series. Obviously, people who are massive fans of the books are also going to hate the series, right? And I started watching it, and all three of the people in the episode liked the series. All they could talk about was how good the series was. And I'm like, did you watch a different series than I did? And so I'm like, well, this can't be real. It was real, but I'm like, I don't understand. Like, why are they saying this? Like, and I felt like they were of the opinion that while you don't get a series that follows the book in any meaningful way, you did get a series that's sort of like the book, but not in any meaningful way. Uh, and so you better just shut your mouth and accept what you get. And I kind of felt like that's where they were coming from. And so I'm like, all right, people in the comments at least have got to be throwing a fit about this. And so I go down to the comments, and there's only a tiny amount of comments. And I'm like, well, that seems weird for the size of the fandom and the number of views on this video. I would think that there would be more comments. And then I see one of the comments says, yeah, we had some big discussions over the show on here, but they've deleted all negative comments from the video. And I'm like, oh, all right, I gotcha. So they're sucking up to the show. I see. That's a shame. I'm not saying they had to be angry, but they could have been, at least critical of some of the things that had happened. Because it's crazy. Um, it's crazy how different the show is than the books. People now, I get it's an adaptation. I get that it's adapting massive amounts of source material. I get that it can't be the same, and there are, in fact, in the book, many characters who could be combined into singular characters. Um, like you don't need you probably, I mean, okay, I can't say you don't need. Uh, you could combine like 3 or 4 leaders of a particular group into a single character and have that character do all the different storylines that were involved in that character. Uh, that's fine. I completely understand that. I wasn't expecting every storyline to make it into the place. Um, but there are some like really major things that got left out of this series that I am dumbfounded as to why you would think you wouldn't put that in. Um, and uh, so here's one of the things. All right, in the books, there's a city called Whitebridge, and it's called Whitebridge because it has a white bridge. And you think, oh well, nice. But the trick is that the city is just a person-made city, like regular people. But the bridge was made by casters. It's a magic bridge. And it's made from this substance that no one knows how to make anymore, called Kulendar. Quindler, something like that. I call it Kulendar. We'll go with my pronunciation because it's my story. Uh, and it's the first time that any of the people in the books, well, not any of the people, obviously, some of the people know what's going on in the world, but the main characters, the Emmonsfield Five, as I see them referenced, have never been anywhere outside of their tiny mountain village, right? And so, uh, Whitebridge is one of the first times they see this amazing stuff, right? Especially something as important to the story as Kulendar, Quindalar, something like that. And So you would think that such an iconic city in the books as Whitebridge would make it into your series. Nope. Uh, uh, fine. All right. So you gotta skip some locations. Find it weird that you skipped that one in particular. Made more sense as we got to the end of the series, though. They don't even really mention the seals to the Dark One's prison, which are made out of the same substance that is so. Because it's put together with magic, it's nearly indestructible. Like, no one can. Once it's formed, which is why no one knows how to form it, it can't be unformed. I don't think they can destroy it. I don't think they've ever found a way to destroy Quindalar, Kulender, whatever it's called. Um, and so, you know, I just thought that was a great. Because the thing is that the bridge doesn't look like a normal bridge, right? Because it was made with magic and they made it thin and fancy and whatever. And it doesn't look like it. Oh, dang it! It doesn't look like it should be able to hold the weight that goes across it, right? And so that's your introduction. No introduction. No even mention of it. I think almost the entire series, uh, if they mention it at all. I don't know if they mention it at all, um, which is weird because it plays a more than minor part in the story. Not the bridge, just the substance. And I'm like, okay, all right, so we don't get White Bridge. Fine. And uh, but then it just gets worse. The magic system in the story is and I'm going to end it with this right here. I'm going to end talking about this with this part. The magic system, otherwise I'm going to go on for a whole hour again. The magic system in the books is pretty well laid out. Maybe not in the first book, but again, you're making a series after the books were written. So any inconsistencies in the books due to being written over time and not planned out, from the beginning, can be corrected in the series, right? So if there are rules on how your magic works, and you've got all the books to go through to get the rules for how the magic works, then chances are you should get the magic to work correctly in your show. There should not be weird decisions that affect how the magic works because it's central to the storyline. Like, they can't even tell the same story that's in the book, I don't think, at this point, because of how they've mangled everything and changed things. Um, so, Dark God, sealed in a prison, hole drilled in his prison by people seeking power, not knowing that it's a Dark God's prison. Dark God starts to destroy the world. Uh, the magic in the books is there's two magics in the books, but the main one is called the One Power. It comes in two halves, the male half and the female half. And the uh, this guy named the Dragon goes to seal the prison and uh, seal the hole in the prison that they dug. Where I swear I went up a thing and I was crawling across tops and then I got killed and now I can't find that spot. What the heck? Did it get destroyed? Right, I went up this bridge here and then I was crawling on top of stuff, but now I can't get anywhere because these fans. Fine, whatever. I'll make my own. No, I was over here. This is where I was at. I just don't know how I got over here before. Do. Do. So, uh, oh geez, now there's a dog. I was gonna build up and get away from these after I made him fall through. I wasn't expecting a dog to come running out and attack me from behind. Anyways, so when he took his companions, who were all men, to seal the prison, the Dark God tainted the male half and made all the men go crazy, right? So this is central to the story. It's central to the story. The tainting of the power and the power being tainted is central to the story. There's only two parts of this story. The male half of the magic is tainted. Any man who uses it goes insane. The prophecy says that only the Dragon Reborn can seal the Dark One's prison. And the Dark One will get free because his seal was imperfect from the original dragon. That's the story. That's the whole thing in a tiny nutshell. So, one would clearly think that given that the tainting of the male half of the power is central to some of the books, like some of the books are directly about the taint on the male half of the power. Central. Not like, yeah, you know how the power is tainted. No, like spoilers, clear the taint off the power at one point in the books, right? I mean, if you never mention that there's two halves to the magic, and you never mention that the male half is tainted, and you have statements like, I could teach you how to cast, even though I'm a woman and you're a man, and in the books, the male and female powers work so different that a woman can't teach a man to channel, and a man can't teach a woman to channel. Oh, why am I not on my punchers? Right, it's central to the story. Not mentioned in the show. Not mentioned in the show once, an entire season. In fact, in the show, like I said, the one woman says, "I could teach you, but I won't." That's not a thing. That's not a thing that's possible in the books, given the central premise that there's a male half and a female half, uh, and you can't cast from both. It's why they drilled the hole in the prison in the first place, because the female magic researchers um, led teams to. I know they're female because they're still alive in the. They're super powerful bad guys in the books, but they didn't know what they were doing. I'm not saying it. There's any fault here. They didn't know it would happen. It did happen though, and and the whole series is just like, yeah, there's power. They cast power. Um, and yeah, what are we gonna do? Not ever mention that there's two halves. Not ever mention that the male half is tainted. Just say men corrupt the power. That is what they say on the show. Men corrupt the power. That is not what happened. That's not what happened in the books. That's not what happens in any of the story. What are you talking about? So yeah, I hate the show. Um, I did want to mention one other thing, I guess. I've still got time. Um, I was very disappointed because I was super looking forward to a specific part in the first books, and that was the city of Shadar Logoth. And Shadar Logoth was so during the war against the Dark One, however long ago that was. Um, there were different massive kingdoms, right? It's called the Age of Legends. It was, basically a sci-fi version of now. Uh, and so their magic is maybe sci-fi. But and so they've just got these massive cities and, millions of people and billions of people probably. And so that's the that's the Age of Legends, and it's all, Age of Legends is not the thing I wanted. But during the war against the Dark One, during the Age of Legends, there was a city that sealed itself off from everybody because they were so afraid of the Dark One. And whatever went down inside those walls is not known. All they know is that when the Dark One's prison was finally sealed, and the other cities, um, the few that survived, I mean, they didn't even survive completely. The remnants of the cities that survived went to find out what happened to Shadar Logoth, uh, and they found the whole city sealed off. And when they broke open the walls, there were no people inside, and they don't know what happened to them. And so there's evil in the city, and they think it's the personified evil of what went down in that city. And that is, oh, I forgot what his name is. There's a dude, a creature, I guess. But also in the city is this fog called Mashadar. It's alive. It doesn't exactly look like fog, and in the books, it like grabs stuff and flings it around, and if it touches you, you die, kind of thing. And so there's a really cool scene where they flee from Mashadar and Trollocs at the same time, and the fog, because it's a different kind of evil, is going after both groups. And I was really that dude hit me without making an animation. It's throwing me off, right? Because I know the animations, so I know when to step back, and they're not making their animations, so I don't step back, so I keep getting hit when. I mean, I'll admit it that I'm standing too close some of the time, anyways. But um, And this is a yellow-eyed zombie, which is why I'm having such problems with my weak self. Um, so I was really looking forward to that. And then when they got to it, uh, dang it. You threw 2 punches while he was standing up. 2. What was wrong with you? I don't know if I can get in here because I can't get past this guy. Um, and so, yeah, they get into Shattered Logoth, and when Mashatter is supposed to come out, it comes out as black mold that spreads across the ground. Black mold. Not fog that's whipping around, not fog tentacles that are whipping around, grabbing things, pulling dudes off horses, right? Crushing Trollocs, all, really cool scene in the books. Gone. They just have to flee from black molds. Um, and then later, when people were talking about how the magic actually works in the books, I don't think you can see people channel. Like a woman who can channel can see other women channel, but I don't think regular people can see you channel. But in the show, anytime someone casts, guess what comes out? Fog tentacles. And I realized while talking about the show in one of my many attempts to do this episode, that's why Mashatter isn't in the. Oh, dang it, I thought you were dead. That's why Mashatter's not in the series because they use that effect already for their casting. And yeah, so no Mashatter. I'm very disappointed that there's no Mashatter. Anyways, enough about that. Needless to say, I'm very shocked that the fandom would praise a show that has little to do with the book series. Um, I mean, do they go to places with the same name? Yes. Do occasionally they look the same? Yes. Do the same thing happen? No. Uh, does very, very, very vaguely, generally the same thing happen? Sorta. Uh, if the main character or the Dragon Reborn gets from Emmons Field to the Eye of the World in the first series, which is based off of mostly the first book, yes, that happens. Does he get there the same way and does he do the same thing at the Eye of the World? No, he doesn't. And so that's the real issue here, right? Can I fit through here? You'd think I could fit through here, but I can't. I'm too fat. 10,000. 1,200. I don't remember if these break or if there's like extra layers. I'm tired of trying to get past that guy. So yeah, so the other thing I guess to talk about is no D&D this week. Usually I talk about D&D instead of ranting about Wheel of Time for 28 minutes. Um, yeah, we didn't play last week. Dude said he was too tired to play. This week, the DM said he couldn't play on Wednesday. He had a scheduling conflict, air quotes. And so he asked if we would play on Tuesday. Same dude that was tired last week. Again, didn't make it. Work issue. DM, I was like, all right, well then we can't meet for the other thing that we do because you're busy. And he's like, oh no, I can make it to that. It'll be sometime later that night when I get back. So, and I hate that. I hate that he thinks it's okay that I should sit around and wait for him to show up. Like, just tell me a time. We could bump it another day, something. It's annoying to me. And then when we did talk later that night, after he got back from his scheduling conflict, he made it sound like it was a work thing. It turned out he just wanted to go hang out with a different dude. He hangs out with this guy on other days, like they've gone and done stuff before. He's talked about it. Um, and So I don't understand why it had to be scheduled for our D&D night, knowing that that night is our D&D night. I don't know why he considers the group of us less important than one other guy doing a thing. So yeah. And the thing they did was just goofing off. They didn't do anything important. Like I could understand my friends from here from out of town. He's only gonna be here a couple days, right? Understandable. We got tickets to something, and Wednesday was the only day we could get them. Oh, great. Understandable. So you guys don't show up until I... Oh, I got hung up on that thing. Oh, man. I really wanted to open that box. I didn't even get to see what it was, what it looted yet. Clearly, I'm too weak for this area. Clearly. Even the out in the open... Shotgun parts. That's it. Got some shotgun parts, and then everything else was stuff I already had. It looks like. Well, my bike's full. I'm full. I should probably head home. We need to find a way back to the west. And drive home. But yeah, it just turned out he wanted to go goof off with that guy. Even though, like I said, we were already scheduled for D&D. I don't... It's ridiculous. I did get out and mow the lawn today. I wasn't gonna, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go out and mow the parts that are deep. And then when I got out there and started the lawnmower and started going, I'm like, okay, so almost everywhere is deep. Gotcha. I thought we might work on the dish, getting that put up today, but I am not exactly sure what went on. The one dude was like, I gotta get spears for sucker spearing. And then he left like 3 hours ago, and I don't know where he went or why he's been gone this long. Because he didn't say anything to me. So I don't know what the deal is there, but... Oh, desert. Gross. Nobody wants any desert. But yeah, so I got some outside time in today. I'm covered in scratches, as I usually am after mowing the lawn. We got a lot of low bushes around the lawn that stick out in the lawn a little bit, and so I'm always using my arms to push them away from my face. Then I end up covered in scritches. I was trying to think if anything else went down. Playing a lot of Fallout 3 on my Steam Deck. Loving my Steam Deck. I've only had one game so far not work. Nope, that's not true. 2 games that I've tried to play so far haven't worked. One was XCOM Chimera Squad. I'm not exactly sure what is going down with it. I haven't tried it. It's patched a couple times. Like Chimera Squad itself has patched, and the software for the Steam Deck is patched a couple of times, and I haven't tried it. But it because of the way the game loads in, it loads into a website first, and then it goes into the game. Like you have to approve running the game through, like, I don't know, EA's launcher or something. And so that fact, that it doesn't just load the game, which is the dumbest thing ever, it won't shut down the EA page and go to the game. And so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but clearly I'm doing something wrong. Because it does say that it should work, and I haven't been able to get it to work. Uh, and then the other game I was playing was Everspace, and that's a space combat kind of game, and it it was laggy. It's the only game I've tried to play so far that was laggy, and so something in there with firing your guns, which of course is constant, causes the game to lag. And so I didn't take the time to reduce graphics to see if that would help. But it's the only game that's happened in so far. And I played some Fallout 3, which I know is a little older. I played some BioShock, which is a little older. I've been playing Pathfinder Kingmaker on there. That's got some pretty good graphics. I haven't had any issues on that one, so I don't know what it is about Everspace in particular. Um, but something definitely doesn't like the software or the hardware or something. But yeah, so far it's been awesome. I have put in a lot of hours, like 30 plus hours on a handheld, and I really haven't gone anywhere to need a handheld. Um, I've been playing games on my Steam Deck instead of on my PC, actually. But all right, with that, be brave in small things, lean in the light, and you can hear the telephone. So I will talk to you later.